All right, what's up, gang? Welcome back to 2019 Open Tips and Advice. 19.3 coming at you. First thing I want to say is good luck. It's gonna be fun. 19.3 is a 200-foot overhead walking lunge, 50 dumbbell box step-ups, 50 strict handstand push-ups, and a 200-foot handstand walk. This workout has several unique standards that you need to make sure you're meeting, so go to games.crossfit.com, download the workout description. We have a high skill workout coming at us with 19.3. We have work in the beginning and skill at the end. So let's be smart at how we approach that so we can really maximize this workout. The overhead walking lunge and the box step-ups is a trap. We have to be diligent in our movement. We can't go too slow. We still have to be moving through it. But if we come out too hard and too fast, our heart rate's gonna be way too elevated, and it's gonna make the second half of the workout near to impossible for us to do at the rate that we wanna be able to do it. I think the workout is gonna be won and lost through the handstand push-ups and the handstand walk. That's where a lot of people are going to make up time, or they're gonna separate themselves from other people. If you can't do those movements at a high heart rate, we should probably keep our heart rate low in the beginning and get to those movements with plenty of fuel and energy left to really maximize them. So really quickly, I wanted to go over just how to warm up for this. I think that it'd be really important to have a high core temperature going into this workout. Make sure you spend some time doing some cardio, kind of starting to get a sweat. We don't want to feel tight or bound up at all going into this workout. We want to feel mobile. I plan on doing 10 to 15 minutes of cardio. I might just ride a bike for 10 minutes. I might go for a run. Whatever it is, I just want to prime the aerobic system for the workout. Then I'm going to take 10 to 15 minutes and mobilize. I'm going to really work the shoulders out, make sure they're open, they're loose, and I'm gonna make sure that my core is nice and warmed up. Make sure my abs are stretched out, my hip flexors are loose, and I want my quads to feel strong going into this workout. Immediately following some mobilization, I will get my heart rate elevated again, but I'll peak it. So I'll maybe do some quick sprints on the assault bike, something to really get the heart rate just spike. And then after I've done that, I'll get off the bike and I'll start playing around with the movements for a few minutes. I'll do some strict handstand push-ups, play with some overhead walking lunges, and I've kind of worked on the cadence of the box step up. Once I've gone through that and I feel warm, I will rest a few minutes and it's time to go. So when we start this workout, pacing matters. Our approach is important. If we come out too hard in this workout, we are going to stand still and either stare at the wall or stare at the floor, wishing we could handstand walk, and we don't want that. An important thing to remember is operate in a way that will allow you to always keep moving. You don't want to find yourself standing still. Be in a place where you can choose your breaks. Don't let the workout dictate when you take your breaks. You choose your breaks. We want to give ourselves enough energy that when we get to the second half of this workout, we can start to ramp up the pace. So with that, manage your heart rate. Know what heartbeats you can operate at and stay at that or below it. Just keep in mind, this workout is almost broken up in two different types of workouts, or two components, a work phase and a skill phase. We want to be fresh enough to maximize the skill set that we have and that we can operate in. Don't let the beginning part be a trap. So let's go over some ways that we can maximize the movements in the beginning to still move diligently, but not tax ourselves. So when approaching this workout, there are a couple things that we want to keep in mind though. If we can't do handstand push-ups, and we know that that's a place that we're gonna get to and we're gonna struggle with, there is a tie break time after the box step-ups. So it might behoove us to actually race through the first half of the workout, get a good tie break time, but as soon as you do that, knowing that handstand push-ups are something that gave you a hard time, take a minute, possibly up to a minute, and lower your heart rate. Take a break. You've just kind of spent yourself, so lower your heart rate and then start attempting your handstand push-ups. If it's the handstand walk, that is something that gives you a hard time, that's something that you're still working on. My suggestion is to pace the first beginning of the workout, the lunge and the box step-ups, really hammer the handstand push-ups if you can, get the tie break time after the handstand push-ups, and then take the handstand walks as you can. I suggest just taking them in 5-foot increments. That's advice for people who really struggle with those movements. If it's just a weakness area of yours, I still think you just manage the beginning of the workout and be diligent through the other movements. On the lunge, I personally will kind of figure out which arm feels best before I go into the workout, which one maybe I feel a little bit more mobile on, or maybe have a better overhead position. That kind of changes day to day. So I'll determine that right before I do the workout, and I will try to overload that arm on the lunge. I'll do a couple more sets on that arm, just knowing that that one is a little bit more strong and stable overhead. And then if you're going to switch arms, don't do it in the middle of a 25-foot section. Do it at the end when you're turning around anyways. Because if you want to switch your arms in the middle of a 25-foot section, you have to cross over your 5-foot increment, change arms, and then you have to step back behind it. So you're wasting time and movement when you're gonna have to break at the 25-foot anyways and turn around. That's the best time to switch hands. When holding the dumbbell overhead, I personally like to hold the dumbbell one head in the front, one head in the back. It's kind of like a hammer style. Check your mobility and know kind of where you set. I know that some athletes like to hold it at a diagonal position, and some even will face forward. Find something that sits well with you and your mobility. But whichever one you're doing, you want your bicep to be as close to your ear as possible. So find whichever angle and direction works there to get your bicep close to your ear. That creates for the most stable position overhead. For the box step-ups, this is kind of a monotonous movement. You want to kind of trick yourself into continuing to move throughout it in a diligent manner. I recommend breaking it up into like maybe 3 sets, like a 25, 15, 10. Something that gives you a goal to work towards. I'll look at it like, okay, if I do a set of 25 and I knock those out, now I know I only have a set of 15 next. So I'll think of it in that way, like, can I get on the box sooner because I'm only gonna do 15, and then once I do my 15, it's like, oh, I only got 10 left. And it kind of keeps me, and it tricks my brain into thinking about how I can continue to move, and it gives me a goal to work towards, rather than just, oh my gosh, I have 50 box step-ups to do. Break it up into smaller chunks that are manageable. Box step-ups are so monotonous that it's really easy to slow your pace down without even knowing it. Just subconsciously, like, your pace starts to slow down. And this will kind of help keep you diligent. If you can do it in smaller sets, you can keep the pace faster. You can keep moving harder. But remember, manage your heart rate. We don't want to do it at a pace that's gonna burn us out so much that when we get to the handstand push-ups, we're just staring at the wall. On the dumbbell box step-ups, I recommend holding it with a hook grip. I'll hold the dumbbell, if this is the front of the dumbbell, I'll hold it to my side right here, and I'll hook grip just kind of right there. And I'll have that down at my side. The front of the dumbbell head, I'll be holding close to the front of the dumbbell head. And the reason why that is because when you're doing box step-ups, if you're holding towards the back of the dumbbell, it's gonna lean forward a little bit more and it's gonna hang lower. So when you go to step up, you might actually bump into the box. So I recommend holding towards the front of the dumbbell head. I think it'll just kind of be a safer bet for you guys. So now we've gotten through the work, and now we're to the skill set. Strict handstand push-ups. Handstand push-ups fizzle out quickly, and they take a really long time to come back. Please do not burn yourself out by doing a huge set at the beginning. You have a lot of handstand walking to do after this as well. We want to break this up from the beginning in manageable sets. Small sets and fast reps is better than big unbroken sets that are slow, especially if you're having to take long breaks. If you're in the middle of a set and you have, like, in your mind that you're gonna do 3 more reps, but you have gotten to this position and you've paused for more than a second, calm down. It's not worth hanging out there. Time under tension adds up really fast. So coming off the handstand push-ups, our shoulders are gonna be taxed and tired. So we wanna approach the handstand push-ups in a smart way that will save energy for the last 50-foot push. Don't do full unbroken 25-foot increments unless you know you can always get 25 feet. I want you to be well-versed in handstand walking and really know and be confident in 25-foot sections. If you're not, be okay with coming down 15 feet in, 10 feet in. Maybe you're one of those people that you get to the handstand walk and you're just happy to get as far into it as you can. It's okay to break it up into 5-foot increments. Walk 5 feet, come down. Walk 5 feet, come down. That's totally fine. Pick an increment that you are confident that you don't need a lot of rest for. Something that you can do, come down, and kick right back up and go into. For some of you, that might be 5-foot increments. For some of us, that may be 10 to 15 feet. Everyone's different, find that for you. With handstand walking, pace is huge. If your pace slows down while you're walking, time adds up all of a sudden. More breaks and a faster pace is better than big sets and a slow pace. And again, go into scaling options. My advice does not change much, if anything at all. We still wanna manage the beginning of the workout and really maximize the skill set to the end. You guys are doing a front rack hold. You can either hold it with one arm or you can hold it with two. So I wanted to show you how I would hold it if it was me. I personally would take the dumbbell and I would hold it in my hands like this in a front rack position. I would rest it on my shoulder and collarbone, and I got space between me and the dumbbell handle here, so I got plenty of space to breathe. And now I'm holding this and I'm dispersing this between both arms, and I'm not having one lopsided core or, you know, wearing out my midline by holding it on one side. I got it nice and dispersed on both sides of my body. Alrighty guys, this is gonna be a lot of fun. Remember, we are smart athletes. We always wanna be working as hard as possible, but that sometimes and oftentimes means we have to approach it intelligently as well. Be disciplined with your pace, be diligent with your movement, and save some fuel and energy for the last part of this workout. And as always, enjoy the community, have fun out there, guys. This is gonna be a lot of fun. If you're getting your first handstand push-up or you're attempting handstand walking for the first time, please capture it on video. Tag me on Instagram at ColeSager35. I love seeing that stuff. I love seeing you guys enjoying and just throwing down into the community. Fires me up and I love it. Share this with your fellow CrossFitters if they need some tips and advice on how to approach 19.3. And guys, I will see you in the next video. Peace.